Drink water, plenty of sleep, eat a balanced, nutritious diet, spend time in nature. People are going to have their minds blown by that. Do something creative. Genius. Yes, that'll do. That's good enough. Publish. If you've ever encountered online self-care tips, you've probably read that article. Let's be honest. Okay, it might be a slight exaggeration, but I don't think it's far off. You know, the ideas in many of those kinds of social media posts and articles leave me thinking, well, yeah, obviously. I'm not sure the issue is that we don't know what is good for us. The issue is often the way that we turn very natural ways of expressing and processing, holding, interacting, engaging with the world into items on a to-do list. We've learned to essentially atomize fundamentally natural human needs that should be met through our social and cultural conditions, and make them overwhelmingly generic. Lists like that confront us with loads of things to do, ways that we're falling short, and it often feels like it's our fault that we're not taking better care of ourselves. I've been reflecting on the way many aspects of self-care, or more simply put, core human needs, link together. For example, in this video, I want to consider how being creative and spending time in nature can be intrinsically linked. In fact, I'm a firm believer that if we make creativity the cornerstone, everything else falls into place around it. Creativity can help us disconnect from the noise, come into co-regulation alongside other people in playful ways, get some accidental exercise along the way, breathe fresh air, feel a transcendent sense of progress on meaningful pursuits and endeavours. You know, these are not all separate items on a to-do list. Rather, they're byproducts of anchoring, following, and allowing life to wrap around a creative core. I want to get a little bit more concrete because this is in danger of sounding like fluffy nonsense. But I asked this question in The Haven a couple of months ago. I really love gathering as many perspectives as possible on things like this. There's something really beneficial about building hive mind responses so that the ideas cover more bases than certainly I can on my own. And we often end up actually building ideas together, you know, creating something through that process that is more than anyone brings on their own. And so we end up with experiments to try out and stuff to explore. In our community discussion that had happened a week earlier, we'd spoken about how being around nature resets the nervous system and helps us see and connect with new potentials, you know, new possibilities, new hopes in life. I wrote, I've noticed that spend time in nature and get out into nature are often tips in articles about self-care and well-being. It's one of those things we know is healthy and probably don't need telling is important. I doubt anyone reads that and thinks, oh, yeah, interesting. I hadn't thought of that idea before. You know, a lack of knowledge isn't the issue for those who struggle to spend the time that they'd like in natural spaces. There are constraints for many people like time, access to green spaces and that kind of thing. But I'd like to focus on addressing the obstacle of purpose. Sometimes the culturally conditioned injunction to make activities productive and useful can stop us from prioritizing those soul-nurturing activities that have no productive or immediately or obvious measurable benefit in the moment. Engaging with creativity is a way to bring us home to the natural world and to scratch that itch for purpose as we do so. You know, it can help us slow down without worrying that we're wasting time, which can be a real feeling if our nervous system has been brought up to believe that everything of value and worth needs to be specific, measurable, actionable, and productively tied to a timeline. When that sits within the body-mind, it can actually make relaxation stressful. So this might help us bridge that gap in some way. Creative projects, pursuits, and play can be a happy middle path that anchor us with a flavour of progress without forcing results. So ask this question: how can we use creativity to get out into nature and to find or explore the natural world around us? Someone responded, pointing out that getting out into nature does not have to mean going somewhere outside of the city, or going somewhere far, going somewhere extremely beautiful, or going out for an extended period of time. And so this person described their short morning ritual where they would walk 7 minutes from their apartment to a small park nearby where there's a religious shrine, which they sit nearby on a bench. And they just allow themselves to be with the trees, the candles in the shrine, the pigeons. There are no creative intentions attached here, but this simple ritual sets a creative orientation to the world. So they talk about getting out as the energizing part for them. And interestingly, that short ritual then contains those byproducts, doesn't it? Slowing down, exercising, breathing, connecting, and setting a creative rhythm that then flows into and through the rest of the day. So for them, the idea of setting a specific creative intention actually feels a bit pressured. It feels a bit too tied to productivity, and would bring them out of the presence that they're currently enjoying. Which reminded me that, we are all different. There is no one size fits all for this stuff. It's about engaging with a spirit of openness and investigative curiosity, noticing what feels good, noticing what helps move us towards our desired states, and where we lose connection to them. Someone mentioned that spending time in nature actually allows our eyes to look beyond those 12 inches to the phone or to the laptop screen. It broadens our horizons, which invites dots to merge and connect. Touch grass. Many people talk about getting outside as a way to let problems untangle themselves. The more we try to force it, the tighter the knot can get. Someone else mentioned a course that they've been on about making physio exercises more fun for kids. Rather than focusing on the aim of the exercise, for example, to strengthen the knee or the elbow or whatever, to make a game out of it that sort of takes the mind off the deeper objective. Again, turning the point into a byproduct rather than the focus. This is similar to other ideas about deliberate play and how skills and knowledge are acquired and integrated more effectively when they're weaved into playful exercises. So if the aim is to get out into nature because it's good for you, creativity can make that desired thing a simple and an enjoyable thing to do. And to help that happen without us turning spend time in nature into a specific thing. It's the same as the objective to strengthen my knee. That's not a helpful task for the to-do list because it's not an action. It's a result. There's someone else who does junk journaling, which sounds fascinating. And they talk about how a daily walk allows them, for example, to find and collect materials to naturally dye the paper. The patterns, the shapes of flowers, trees, leaves, clouds, and snow deeply affect our brain, taking us out of clinical straight edges and brittle corners of many aspects of human design and into communion with the chaos, allowing us to see the abundant and excessive beauty in the world around us. Stuff that grows because it grows and goes the way it goes simply because. This is an antidote to the call to efficiency, productivity, and control that comes through the way that we are often taught to engage with the world. Everything must have a purpose, a point, a learning objective, etc. Even many of these posts themselves about self-care come from a similar place. They're not necessarily about experiencing the world in a new way. They're about doing a bunch of things so that we can function in a world that actually makes it really hard to flourish in natural and normal ways. Getting out into nature is dangerous to a system that needs us staring no more than 12 inches in front of us and busy doing self-care like machines that need oiling in order to carry on working as a kind of maintenance thing, rather than being humans and enjoying the messy, unpredictable, playful uncertainty of life and engaging with it from the depths of our creative spirit. So how can we use creativity to get out into nature and explore the natural world around us? I don't know, go and count the trees in your local park. Take pictures of the clouds and make up a story about the characters that you see in the shapes up there. Collect, 30 unusual looking leaves. Build a den. Record the sounds of the water, the birds. Take close-up macro photos of something that you've walked past hundreds of times but never truly looked at or observed. Make a gift for someone using all the things that you find on the forest floor around you. I don't know, there's so many creative ways that can connect us with the natural world. you got any more to add, I'd love to read them in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a like. And if you would like to be notified about future videos like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, see you soon.